of this meeting, can you please put your phones on silent? And an important point, after each story taker enters or exits the stage, I request you all to give them a generous applause. And the most important point, after each session, you will all get a link for voting. I request the members to please cast your vote. Though we have 30 plus members, the percentage of votes has been a bit less. The theme for today's meeting is familiarity breeds contempt. Karthik and Anisha were the perfect married couple. They are both working IT professionals. So, though they always used to complain about the lack of quality time together, they were always happy in the time that they were with each other. And then COVID happened. Work from home became work for home. And it was then that they realized that things weren't as cozy and perfect as what it had earlier seemed like. Once you get a bit too familiar with another person, you may not hate them, but they may not seem as perfect as they earlier seemed like. Now the next person to come on stage, he feels that there are some situations in his life when he was a bit complacent because he had experienced these situations before. And that led to his failure also sometimes. Now we have been missing his audacious presence for quite some time now. But the wait is finally over. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Vaidya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai, for that introduction. So I call to order meeting number 1351 of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. So the minutes of the previous meeting 1350 was shared over WhatsApp and over mail by our secretary, Bruno. Are the minutes in order? Yes. Some people yes here and there. So can we have a strong yes?
Yes.
Okay. The meeting of the previous meeting 1350 stands passed. I could see quite a few guests were occupied the last row. May I request them to please occupy the front seats, please? Please come. Front is not the last. Please occupy the second row. Please do come. Ma'am, could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Jessie.
Pardon?
My name is Jessie.
Okay. Welcome to Bangalore Toastmasters Club, and how are you, sir?
I'm Jerome.
Sorry?
I'm Jerome.
Jerome. Okay. You are from Bangalore?
I'm from Madurai.
From Madurai. Very good. So, can I request all the guests to please rise? So, members, let us give them a round of applause for a wonderful guest. May I request the committee members to please rise? Yes, please have a look at these gentlemen or the gentlewomen who are standing now. And if you have any doubts related to Toastmasters, please do reach out to us. We will be more than willing to help you out with all the doubts that you may have. All right. The year was 1707 and the month was October. The winter was slowly setting in the British Isles. It was getting colder. And even in those days, Britain had a very powerful navy. They had a fleet of ships. Their favorite pastime used to be waging wars with other countries. And after one such expedition, which happened in the country of France, a fleet of ships were coming back to the British Isles, the mainland. The man who was captaining the fleet of ships, which was 21 in numbers, was Captain Chauvel, or the Admiral Chauvel. When I speak about Admiral Chauvel, he is a man who had seen close to 11 naval wars. And in all those 11, he had succeeded. And he had close to 43 years of experience in British Royal Navy. And he knows the sea like the back of his hand. And when he was captaining the set of ships or a fleet of ships on the way back to England from France, they were very close to the shore, hardly 28 nautical miles from the British Isles. And that's when one of his fellow sailors said, "Sir, the sea is treacherous. I've been here before. And more importantly, there are rocks in this particular stretch. I think it's wise for us to take a detour." But Chauvel had 43 years of experience. He is familiar with the sea currents. He is familiar with the wind. He is familiar with the latitude. He is familiar with the longitude. He is familiar with everything that you can think of sea. And he shut him off. He said, "Wait, I know what needs to be done." And then Captain Chauvel continued his journey towards the British Island. And that's when the disaster struck. His ship hit a big boulder, broke into pieces, and it sunk in just 10 minutes flat. Out of 21 ships which were following, 20 ships which were following Captain Chauvel, 3 other ships also hit the boulder and it also sunk. So totally 2,000 sailors, 2,000 people drowned. It's the worst maritime disaster that the world has ever seen, which is called as the Sydney disaster, which happened in 1707 near British Isles. Why did this happen? It is not because of ignorance. Chauvel had familiarity about the sea, he had familiarity about the latitude, he had familiarity about the longitude, he had familiarity about the sea currents, he had familiarity about the wind pattern, and everything that you can think of sea. But that familiarity resulted in complacency, which resulted in this massive disaster. So what is the antidote to familiarity or the complacency? For that, you might need to wait for my next presidential address. With that note, let me introduce you to a person who is going to take us through the rest of the meeting. And we call the Toastmaster of the day, or the MC for the day. This lady joined Toastmasters 6 years back. She's a very good speaker. And she served as the Vice President Education of her club the previous term. And more importantly, the only mathematics teacher whom I love. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Smita Roshi.
Good evening, Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, how are you all feeling today?
Good.
Top of the world. Yes, the weather is pleasant. The birds are chirping. We just heard a wonderful presidential address. What better way to start a Toastmasters meeting on a Friday evening? Have you ever heard of TDH? TDH? Okay, you need a clue?
Yes.
It's not anything related to chemistry, or it's not a short form meaning. Okay. Girls used to look for TDH.
Tall,
Tall,
dark,
dark.
handsome.
Madam President is the first one to answer. Tall, dark, handsome. One such tall, dark, handsome boy, Don Anthony. He proposed to his love of his life, a girl in his neighborhood. She very unceremoniously, flatly refused. And to his dismay, well, let me give you a few things about Don. He has just finished his MBBS from AIMS Pune, and he's considered to be the best bachelor. And to his dismay, he got to know that this girl got married to a boy who's in any ways, according to him, lesser than him. A small town boy with a pot belly, shorter. Well, he would have wondered why. But as a common friend to Dawn and the girl Beena, I know Beena could never take off her mind the small boy with running nose poking into the nose when they were both in school together. Well, familiarity breeds contempt. It's a common phenomenon. Let it be between a new maid and the lady at home, or two lovers, or husband and wife. Everything starts in a sweet tone, and over the time, it gets into a bitter note. Familiarity breeds contempt. But a little cognizance about this, little awareness. What little awareness? We can get over it. Well, my grandmother used to tell me, don't reveal yourself fully. Men, usually over a small talk, or friends at one good time, you generally feel you reveal all the secrets, and you never know when it will come back to you. Actually, in Kerala, where the one actor, Dilip, he almost got away with a crime, and that's the point when a person who he never thought will intervene, he boldly came out. He gave all the records of something that happened. So, my grandmother told me, don't reveal yourself completely. On the road, while I was coming today, I saw a board, keep distance on a vehicle. So it depends on the vehicle, how much distance should we keep. Second point, keep a distance with people. You should know how much to talk or how well to communicate. Keeping a distance and deciding for yourself how much to tell what to whom. And that is where Toastmasters come into point. Over the last 6 years, I have learned a lot. I have learned how to communicate one-on-one and to a group. This international organization was started by Ralph C. Smedley in the year 1924 at Santa Ana, California, with a few bunch of youth. And now it has just prospered into 144 countries, over 280,000 members. And aren't you all proud to be part of it? Yes?
Yes.
That's. On that note, a typical Toastmasters meeting, for the benefit of the guests, we have 3 sessions. We have prepared speeches where all the members, they will select out of 11 parts. There are 11 different parts suiting to each one's personality. You can choose. You can choose what you want. And follow the path. The curriculum is there, you just need to follow it. Second session. In the first session, you had to follow the path, you had to give prepared speeches. The second session is all about impromptu speaking. I heard somebody say, today I was put on spot. And that's one is smiling over there. That is what is all table topics is all about. You have to come here, you have to speak. And you will mumble and fumble, and finally you will ace it. The third session is the evaluation session. That is where all the learning happens. Today we have an evaluation team itself, led by a very eminent person. He is called the General Evaluator. He is having an eagle's eye on all the proceedings that's happening. Right from the hall is set up till the end. This eminent personality, he has finished 3 parts. Every part has 5 levels, every level has 3 to 4 speeches. So he has finished 3 parts. He has got a Pathbreaker Award. He wants me to introduce him as just a member of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, but I am taking the liberty to say that he is the area director of the area B4. Let's put our hand together for Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy. Now, his team, he is being assisted by 3 important people. These 3 important people, the first one is the timer. Timer, Vivacious Vidya. Can you explain your role?
As a timer, it is my duty to time and record the duration of the entire meeting and its individual parts. For today's meeting, the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes in duration. At 5 minutes, I will hold up the green card, 6 minutes the yellow card, and 7 minutes the red card. Table topic speeches are from 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll hold the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I'll hold up the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, the red card. At the end of the meeting, I'll give my report to the General Evaluator and submit to the club secretary in order to become a part of the permanent record. Thank you.
Our counter role will be done by our VPPR.
Yeah, good evening everyone. As the counter, I will be listening carefully for the use of catchwords like like, and I'll submit my findings at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Sagar, Toastmaster Sagar will explain the grammarian
Good evening,
rules.
Toastmasters and guests. As the grammarian, my job is to look for good and bad use of grammar, and I'll be submitting my findings at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, tag team, for this introduction of your roles. Now let us move on to the first session, the prepared speeches. Let me call upon the evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Aaron. Okay. The evaluator for this first speaker, Shashank. Can you please?
Speaker is attempting his icebreaker project, which is basically the first speech of this project. So the project details are basically the speaker will give his first speech to the club, introducing himself to the club. Thank you.
The speaker, he starts his day with a 5-kilometer jog every day. And you want to know where to get the best momos in Bangalore? The break time you can ask him. Well, I will not reveal more because he is going to speak about himself. The speaker giving the icebreaker speech is Toastmaster Kolakar.
Change is constant. I came to Toastmaster to change myself. Fellow Toastmaster and guests, this is Coleman, which means Lord Shiva. My father is a chief technician in Naval Lignite Corporation. My mother is working as a teacher in government high secondary school. I was raised in Navy by my grandparents because my both of parents are working professionals. I have more memories with my grandparents than my parents. I was average child during my school days. Like till 10th standard, my parents was not aware I will pass my 10th or not. I got grace, I passed my 10th standards. And then after passing my 10th, like I want to go to hostel because there will be no more 5 o'clocks for studies. I went to hostel in Nellore, which is Narayana Narasimha Konda College, Junior College. There I studied intermediate. I went to college and see the atmosphere. I was shocked because the classes will start at 6 a.m. to 4:30. And after 4:30, we got study hours like 4:30 to 10 o'clock. Middle we have breaks, half an hour breaks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The food, like one of the worst food we ever had in your lifetime. That was too pathetic. My friends were accompanying me, and they helped me they helped me to get away from that hostel. Then after in that hostel, I learned about the importance of discipline and studies. After getting my 12th standard result, which is intermediate result, my father got stopped because I got sent up in my 12th. My father thought that I won't study after 10th. He thought that after 12th he want to put me in diploma so that I will somehow I will get up and I will do something good in my life. After getting that much more, my father said, "So you go and study engineering." I went to engineering. It's engineering college that lost of Coimbatore. It's in L&T bypass road. You don't know that college because it won't familiar you don't familiar with that college. I went to that college. Food there was too good. My friends around me were complaining about that food. I used to smile at them because I had worse food than that. Then during when as it is like a normal college. During my 3rd year, my friend got lung problems and I died in hospital. In hospital, his father has to pay money due to some problems. He don't have money, so our college student collected and get the money and went to the hospital. While going to hospital, I met with an accident. And I got injured. Around 6 hours I was in ICU, and 3 months I was in home. Then after getting scolding from my parents and my friends used to call me and they will remind me that you got met with an accident that day. We were shocked like that, and then that life gone. I finished my engineering somehow, and then I came to Bangalore 2016 after completing my graduation. Then with my friends' recommendation, I joined in Opus Innovative Structural Solution, which is a waterproofing company. We do waterproofing for terrace, bridges and balconies and utilities for commercial and residential buildings. I was after gaining my experience in that field, I used to attend meetings with the clients. Due to some scare of my English language, I used to escape from the meetings. So for that, I get scolding from my project manager. Then that got over, and then for improve my English language, I searched for some classes. I got to know about Toastmasters. and due to some time constraints, I didn't attend. I am unable to attend my Toastmasters, and years has passed. Then I went to my after 3 years of experience. One morning, I got a call from my client that your workers are not here today. Like we are cancelling your project, and then the next within 5 minutes, from my head office, they called me and told that we are eliminating you from the company because you are not aware of how to handle labors. Then that gave me more pressure. I get anxiety attacks at nights. Then I decided to prepare for my CAT exams. I prepared for CAT exam while working. So like I can't clear some big college. This year, like I resolved and I take a big step and applied every college in Bangalore. I got a call from Jain University and I joined MBA in Jain University. For MBA you have to speak a lot. Like you have assignments assignments marks for your academic. After fear of there also, one day I was resting in my hostel. I was checking the Bangalore Toastmaster distance from my hostel. Then I came to know it was around 25 minutes. I booked the cab and came to Bangalore Toastmaster. I saw Sureka ma'am hospitality. I came to Bangalore Toastmaster regularly, and then I will take I'm in my part to speak good in stage. Like thank you.
So that was a big conversational way of speaking, and we learned about Toastmaster all of it. So just remember the momos. The next speaker is attempting a level 3 speech from presentation mastery. He will be evaluated by a seasoned Toastmaster, a person who has truly imbibed all the Toastmaster values set by Ramsey Smith. May I request Toastmaster Joe Sport to read out the guidelines, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster. The speaker is speaking from level 3 project, and the purpose of this project is for the member to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. The speaker has chosen to deliver an eulogy to his brother. Over to you, Toastmaster.
The next speaker is a multifaceted person working in a multinational company, a pranic healer, and a trainer in meditation. Anyone who's interested, he will tell you how pranic healing helped a cancer patient to survive. I asked him, how do you look so calm and composed on the stage? And he told me, there is a hurricane of butterflies in my stomach, but it is invisible. So let's put our hands together for the next speaker, Toastmaster Lokesh. Speech title, Bro.
When I was 7 years old and my elder brother was 10 years old, we were playing tag and I was chasing him, running after to catch hold of him, and I stumbled. I fell down. I expected my brother to give me a hand, lift me, console me. Instead, he sat down with me on the ground and he asked me, "You have fallen down?" I said, "Yes." And then he smiled. He showed me to put the palms on the ground, knee on the ground and the toe on the ground, and then push up. And both of us restood. Man Toastmaster of the day, my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. That was my brother, David. For me, he was like a teacher who never preached, who always showed with his actions. He always taught with his actions. And one of the unique thing was that he would always give you an experiential learning. Example. Few years later, I had an argument in the school with the school bully. And then the guy said, meet me at the back gate after the school. All of us know what it means. So during lunchtime, I went to my brother, bro, and said, this what has happened. He said, don't worry, I'll come along with you. So, end of the school bell rang, and then we went to the back gate. And before I could open the back gate, he put his arm around my shoulder, said, Lokesh, this is your fight. Go, fight. I'm here. And then he closed the gate. He pushed me out and he closed the gate. Needless to say, I was badly beaten. But the good part was that when he said, I'm here, I knew that he's behind the gate. So I gave a good fight. The bully had a blue eye, so he was a blue-eyed bully. And I was, next day, a blue-eyed baby or blue-eyed child for some folks. And that day, he taught me a very important lesson. That in life, in business, you'll be forced to fight. And you have to fight your own fight. And that has helped me a lot in my entire life. In business and in other aspects also. As I said, he's the one who never preached, or he was not a good role model. So, but he always believed that if you want to teach a person how to swim, you push him in the pool. And that's what he did with me. He put me into situations where I learned various things. We used to, since we were in the same school, we used to go on a cycle to the school. I would sit on the, if you remember, the cycles which had the bar. So I used to sit in the front and he would ride me to school. And after we reached the school, he said, just leave your bag in your class and come. So I said, no, I want to play with my school friends, with my classmates. No. So for 15 minutes, I would stand, I would hang out with him and his friends, and I would observe. Years later, I realized that he was giving me an experience to say what's going to happen in my life 3 years later. And that has been a very good lesson for me. After that, I have started hanging out with people who have been 3 years, 10 years, 20 years elder to me, learning from them. That was my brother, a person who never taught, who never preached, who never showed with his actions, but he always pushed you so that we can learn. What do you do?
What a moving speech. My dear bro. I remember last year, Toastmaster Lokesh was about to take the TMOD role. That was when this unprecedented incident happened and he had to go. So for that awesome speech, what do we give him? The next speaker is attempting a speech from Dynamic Leadership Level 2. His evaluator, an entrepreneur, a fitness enthusiast, the past president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, he's inspired by Steve Jobs' famous quote, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." I request Toastmaster Ayappa to read out the guidelines, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
The purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some insights about his primary leadership style or discuss leadership style in general. Timer, please note, it's 5 to 7 minutes. All the rest of the speaker.
The speaker is celebrating a decade in Toastmasters. He says Friday meeting in the He has taken many leadership roles like the membership, with the education. I asked him how Toastmasters have influenced your life. He said it has given him the confidence to organize events, shoulder responsibilities, delegate work, and most importantly, empower others to do things. And above all, the most helpful person with a large heart. Toastmaster Vijay Vasudev Kalkuntri. The title of the speech, Power to Empower.
Leaders are not great because they have power, but because they have the ability to empower. Say John Maxwell. From G20 summit to global warming, from Twitter to Taiwan conflict, leaders have a very important role to play in today's world. If the world has to be in order, it is for leaders to play a major role. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Leaders can make the world or break the world. And Toastmaster International puts 8 styles of leaderships that the leaders may need to imbibe in order to emerge successful or victorious. You can sum up all those 8 styles in this acronym, what we call 3ABCDPI. 3A stands for affiliate, altruistic, authoritative, bureaucratic, coaching, democratic, pace setting, and I for innovative. So these are the 8 styles. If you are able to imbibe 4 to 6 out of them in your day-to-day life, you will emerge as a very successful leader. When I started my career as a trainer for owners of fuel stations, I had to train them on how to use the software. So we had this leader, was a head coach, who was Mr. Tirumalai Subramanian. We used to call him Mr. Subbu in the short form. Mr. Subbu was a leader who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. He was a leader who not only told us but also showed us. I remember when we all trainers had to take session. In one such incident, my friend Harsha had to take one training session. He had to organize a training session for 20 such people. All the agenda was set, the venue was in place. Everything was all set there for the training session to happen. 2 days before the actual training session, Harsha receives a call that there is an emergency at your home. You need to be personally present here for 2 weeks. Within a moment, Harsha rushed to Subbu's cabin and told, I need to be at my native place. Mr. Subbu, without a blink of an eye, approved his 2 weeks leave and asked him for any assistance in case of emergency. As Harsha left, Mr. Subbu called all of us and told us of the situation and divided the task and the responsibility amongst us. We were all able to do that entire training session without the lead trainer by compromising some of the other events. We were able to take that event was successful. Now 1 year later, after this event, we received a call on our landline of our office where the headquarters told that there's going to be a surprise audit of all the reports and SOPs that we are maintaining at the training center. And to our utter surprise, Mr. Subbu was on 1 week vacation. That's when all of us decided to handle the situation, take control of the situation and not disturb Mr. Subbu on his vacation time. We all put together all the documents and we were able to execute and give all the reports to the audit team. Hence, after 1 week when Subbu came back, he received a mail from the headquarters which said that we are really happy with your center's performance, where in spite of absence of a leader, the entire team was able to manage the show. Here, Subbu was able to show that very important characteristics of affiliate leadership. He had empowered us. He had given that power to the team to show how the leadership should be exhibited when the leader is not there. People do not care what you know, but they want to know how much you care. Second such leader who comes to my mind is Mr. Puttaswamy Gowda. Mr. Puttaswamy Gowda has not gone to school, has not had any leadership workshop, but he's a milk vendor on a road called Ittamadu Road that connects Banshangri 3rd stage to AGS layout. He is responsible for managing all the traffic on his own. He, along with the people, ensures that the traffic congestion does not happen at that thin 40-feet road. And when the traffic gets clogged at that road, it is so tough that 3-kilometer stretch, which requires just 8 minutes to pass, will require at least 20 minutes to pass. The jam is so tough when there are two buses come cross each other, there is not even a thin sheet of paper that can be inserted between the buses. And he ensures that the entire jam gets cleared within a matter of 5 minutes. He, along with his nearby shopkeepers and the commuters on that road, is able to clear that congestion. He has no formal training, but he shows that particular characteristics of what a leader has to do without any training on his own. So I imbibe the quality of a democratic leadership quality from him, where you need not be leader, but you can take the consensus of the team, your nearby people, and ensure that the situation is handled. My dear friends, there is a very thin line between a manager and a leader. Manager sees a problem, leader sees a lesson. Manager sees a conflict, and a leader sees the quality of bringing harmony in a team. Managers have employees, and leaders have fans and followers. So my dear friends, in our life, we are surrounded with a lot of people with a lot of leadership qualities. It is for us to imbibe those leadership qualities from them, learn from them, and implement those. And no wonder, this wonderful platform of Toastmaster stands on that particular thing. What is the basic motto of Toastmaster? Where leaders are made. Back to the Toastmaster.
Where leaders are made. Let me see now how, whether you listen properly. The man Subbu, what kind of leadership did he show? Yeah, you can. Some affiliative. Wow. So your speeches. And what about Puttaswamy? So that means Toastmaster Vijay's speech has, is well received. For that, what should we give him? Now we go for a short break, and we'll be back in 7 minutes. We have 7 minutes, and let us all be back. The voting order. The voting code for the best speaker is just, you have just received it in your mobile. The code is BTMC. You can vote.
Actually, Saurabh. Yeah, you don't want to come.
I have very bad cold. The last option. Let me take it. I have a cold and cough. Otherwise, I'll cough.
Welcome back to the most exciting session of today, the table topic session. Yeah, I can see some excitement around. So today's table topic master is an engineer from NIT Jamshedpur and he has an executive MBA from IIM Lucknow. But always communication was a stumbling block for him until he joined BTMC. Now 4 years into Toastmasters, he says it has helped him to be positive. Now he can structure his thoughts well, he can speak in an impactful way. He says that this has helped him to get his consulting job in where, PricewaterhouseCoopers, a multinational company. His experience as a speechcraft coordinator, he says it is priceless. Let's welcome the table topic master, Toastmaster Kamlesh.
Thank you, ma'am. When I joined the Toastmaster, when I used to do table topic, my heart started beating and my legs was shaking. Yeah? But over a period of time, it was cooled down. And don't worry about it, because why it has happened that we assume that topic is going to be very tough, and I could not able to speak. That is why it happens. But today, believe me, the topic is simple, but it would be mind blowing. So, are you ready for the table topic? Yes. So, for the benefit of the guest, I would like to tell you that table topic is an impromptu session where the speaker will come and speak for the topic. Today the topic is a little different, the format and the theme which talk about familiarity breeds content, and the best example is a family, right? So we will, in this session, what we will do, there will be debate, there is a debate session, and that will be for 3 minutes. And one will be speaking for the topic, and other is against the topic. And the last 30 seconds will be given for conclusion. So you have to conclude what you have discussed again for the topic and or against the topic. So and the timer, please note what I have given the timing. So are you excited for the topic? Yes. Right. So I would like to call the first 2 speakers. I would like to call Ajit, Toastmaster Ajit, and Vishwanam. The topic is family business is much better than working in corporate. Family business is better than working in a corporate. For and against.
Of course, family business is better than corporate for several reasons. One, like you completely own and you have your own style of managing, and you have your own ways of making decisions, rather than in a corporate business where you have to, you're like, you have to address the stakeholders, you have to always go along with the investors. So family business gives you much more control than a corporate business.
I don't feel the way, because it always brings in the some kind of involvement as a family member. So you always will have a soft corner. Let's say if someone does wrong, you have an opportunity to even tell him that this is probably not the right way, and businesses might even kind of go for a toss. In the sense, like, it may not do well in the right way. Ideally, in a corporate world, I think you should have a list of people who actually have a wealth of knowledge, information, so that they can contribute to the organization, not the family members. Yes, family members to an individual can support to an extent, but not the family can run on its own without having a corporate culture of the organization.
Well, I disagree. Let's take an example of Bajaj, Rahul Bajaj, and he has really taken the Bajaj into next paradigm shift of with Pulsar vehicles. And similarly, take a classic example of Reliance Industries. You have Anand Ambani and Isha Ambani were really taking over the entire retail conglomerate and telecom companies in India. And in fact, family business will adopt the best corporate culture. However, they give you much more control and they make a bigger impact.
Yeah, I mean, the family members can contribute with the money part of it. I still feel that it may not be the right way. What you need is a blend of people who can actually contribute to the organization for the growth, or it can be a specific skills. For example, which you talked about Bajaj, probably yes, people might have spent, for example, Reliance, they are into every industry now. So they can always pick up another person who is actually good in that field and then make them onboarded actually to run this show. But what they are only doing is, it's a monopoly. I mean, what they are only doing is they are making sure that I rule the world, which may not be the right way.
Alright, so conclusion, family business can have a bigger impact and in fact, sorry. So it can have a bigger impact and of course, it's something where, people will look forward to in generations after generations. Yeah.
Now I call Abhijit and Kirtana. Your topic is, you are for the topic and you are against the topic. The topic is single child is enough for the family planning. Single child is enough for family planning.
Against. For me, it's against.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, single child is good because it reduces population for sure, and you can concentrate on one child. It's not a hassle, and it's difficult to raise a child. I think everyone agrees here. So, yeah, I agree with the topic.
Other than population reduce, I'm not really sure if that really matters anymore for this world. Being a single child, I feel that you do need an elder sibling so that there is somebody to guide you through the right path. From my personal experience, I don't really have anybody who can guide me because everybody who's elder to me, there's like a 15-year or 20-year difference. So they won't really vibe with me or understand anything that I face. So I do feel that having a single child is not that good. I do wish I had an elder sibling or a younger sibling.
And related to the problem, I think, yeah, the biggest problem in this world is population. And for that, to control on that, I think this initiative is good. And with regards to the experience, I think whether you have an elder sibling or not, it's always better to experience on your own. Whether it's a problem, whether it's a new school, whether a new job, I think going there and getting that kind of experience without any guidance will give you more confidence rather than someone guiding you. Because I have an elder brother and he keeps on telling me that do this, do that. I never listen to him. I tell him that let me experience that and I will learn on my own.
Again, coming to the population issue, I don't think India is that close to beating China. We can still manage and have another sibling or anything like that. Again, it depends on the person's family as well. Having siblings also matter a lot because you learn to share and care, and you learn the value of relationships from the early age. So you do understand the value of relationships by sharing and caring when you have siblings. You have somebody to fight so that you can also fight in the outer world. So you get the experience from home.
Well, as the topic says, familiarity beats content. So it might be a problematic scene, but yeah, no one can enforce how many childs you can produce. Yeah, it's on you. It's part of freedom. And as a conclusion, I think enforcing this is not fair. It's upon people to decide what to do, whether to have multiple kids or just a single kid. It's upon their financial and their own family planning decision, I would say.
Now I would like to call Surekha Man and Toastmaster Salman. So both are lover of food. You idli versus aloo paratha. Yeah, and she is going to speak for aloo paratha.
Idlis are very soft and fluffy ones, those who have not tasted idlis. So you can have idli with chutney, sambar, and aloo paratha, yes. It is, you can have aloo parathas also, but idlis I feel it is much healthier because it is steam cooked. Aloo paratha for people who are like more of fitness concerned, for them it would be, a little bit on a higher calorie side. So idlis, maybe 1 or 2 idlis a day, it should be fine. Aloo paratha I may not have regularly, maybe once in a while.
Okay. Soft, fluffy, tasty. Just come to Baswantpuri, my place, my kitchen, and serve you aloo parotas, low in calorie, high in nutrition, and super down taste.
I've said that idlis, idlis are low, because parathas, even when we cook, we have to have some extra portion of ghee, oil, and it has to be nice stuffed, with paneer or something to make it much tastier. It is just a simple paratha, it may not taste well. So I would still recommend idlis.
Well, let me tell you what a paratha is. A paratha is the icing on the cake. And remember that icing is the tastiest part. It makes life so very enjoyable. Like good relationships, isn't it? Yes. What do you do? You eat idlis every day. You fall flat. They just won't rise after a while. But with paratha, you rise and shine. God bless you.
Yes, of course. I agree with you. But parathas can have, occasionally. Idlis, though, maybe a person who is unwell, for a digestion purpose, he can go for idlis instead of having parathas because it may not suit his digestive system. So maybe it can be applied for anyone. Parathas, maybe the people who are, they want to eat, they want to splurge on food, they can have every day, but not everyone can.
So, not suiting your digestive system, I think you need to go and see a gastroenterologist. So that's where you should go to. Because parathas I eat every day. I haven't seen a doctor for ages. So it's all about your own internal system and your metabolism and your physiology and your anatomy and whatever.
But down south, people don't know how to, prepare healthy parathas. We are not used to a lot of eating parathas every day.
Okay. So it's digestion and digestion and assimilation?
Yes, it could be because it may not suit for everyone.
Yes. Go up north and see, it suits everybody. Why does it? Because they're okay with their digestion, their assimilation, and their elimination. Thank you very much.
So now I would like to call Toastmaster Ganesh Pai and Part. The topic is spending time with the friends is better than watching OTT. Got it? Yeah. So pause the topic and again the topic. Spending time with friends is better than watching OTT.
I'm totally for it because OTTs are there 24/7. You can watch it anytime. But friends are far and few, and that's where we need to rebuild the connections. And last week I had gone to the centenary celebration of my school and happened to meet friends whom I had lost touch with for ages. That's when I realized what I had lost in all these couple of decades of time, which all the more made me believe the topic is so right. I totally agree with that. We need to spend more time with friends than
like you said, friends are far and few. Whereas in OTT platforms, there are many and many more. So the options. And the funny part was, during COVID, how many of us got a chance to go meet our friends?
No one.
Unless you stayed in the same apartment, sir. Okay. So, during COVID, OTT platform kept us entertained, kept us alive, and gave us some kind of expectation that we will come out of this. Whereas when we call our friends, they'll be like, man, I can't meet you today, that's COVID. And then I can't meet you lasted for 2 years. So that just gave us false expectations. Whereas OTT platform just kept us entertained, kept us alive during that particular point of time where we had nothing to do, couldn't go to office for a short point of time. And even after a point of time, just kept you entertained and just fulfilled for that particular period of time.
So exception can't be norm is how I would put it. COVID is behind us now. Things we should better move on. So let's keep it aside. And if you call someone and they say, hey, I can't come, I guess it speaks a lot about us than the friend as well. I mean, at least it's equally about our own self. So here is how I would look at it, honestly. OTT has so many side effects in terms of being feeling lonely and all those psychological side effects, which I think one need to be mindful of. And that's when the friends are the antidote for such issues.
Yeah, what if your friends are not that helpful and supportive and in turn are toxic? So that's a situation where OTT will support you and be a helping hand, just be there. Than just being with someone who's just toxic and wasting away your time, not letting you push at it in life.
So you can always make better choices. Just because stuck with you. Toxic friend doesn't mean you can't go far and beyond that. So I guess that is where the choice is with us. Okay, I have nothing.
Thank you. So now I would like to call Toastmaster Aaron and Abhinandan. So the topic is very simple. Staying in the rented flat is better than the buying flat. Got it? So for the topic and speak and you can debate. I have to do the after these 30 seconds for the no, you have to.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I guess staying in a rented flat is preferable over a bought flat. You see, there are various issues with this, right? In today's generation, there are 2 or 3 very critical points that I'd like to make. Maybe I'll start with one and hand over to my opposing party on stage. The first and foremost is that today the property appreciation is not as it used to be, right? And there are economics and there are a lot of articles and literature on this, is that when the previous generation, a lot of people currently in their 50s, 60s and 70s, for instance, bought property, it has currently appreciated to a value much above other sources of investments, right? Like banks and stocks and all of that. Currently, the way real estate is seen in the past 10, 15 years and the rate it is appreciating and is expected to appreciate over the next few decades, that is at least our lifetime, as well as that of our immediate generation, is not as much. So purely, the first point I'd like to make is from an investment perspective, there are far better investment options. So it is better to put your money, savings, liquidity into those investment options rather than invest it into a bought house.
So if you consider the rent that's going right now in Bangalore, a tiny 1 BHK in HSR here, the rent is 50,000 rupees. Now if you were to buy a house and pay that same 50,000 as EMI, you would still be able to own the house at the end of 20 years. Your money is not going into somebody else's pocket. I think that makes, that's a very important point towards not paying rents and actually paying EMI instead of rents. Couple of other points. If you own a house, you have the satisfaction of owning a house. And I think that makes a huge difference from, if one end of the spectrum is being homeless, the other end of the spectrum is knowing for certain that if something happens, you do have a house, you have a roof over your head. It's a primeval need, the need for shelter. And then lastly, I think owning a house allows you to pass something along to the following generations that they can use as wealth to start off their life.
Thank you. So I think what my friend Abhinandan has not considered, and he has presumed that a person who invests in property and who would pay EMIs instead of rent is stuck to the same location, same city, same building for the rest of their lives and expects their heirs, children, grandchildren to do the same. We're living in a world where boundaries have become endless, where people are constantly moving geographies, economies, countries, jurisdictions for work. Children want to move out of the country as well. So we cannot assume that one would put a prime amount of their savings liquidity that would ground them to a particular location. For example, in Baswangudi, where they may get great idlis and aloo paratha, but necessarily they may not want the same 20, 30 years and for their children as well. So in that case, it is better to put your money into more liquid options, which can also be passed on to your heirs in case of a demise, but there is more flexibility in terms of movement. Thank you.
I think that's a fair argument, but I would still argue that even if you're to move cities, say you buy a house and you're paying an EMI, so yeah, my conclusion is even if you move cities, it's still an asset, it still can be passed on, it's still going to appreciate in 30, 40, 50 years, it's going to be worth a lot of money, so I would still advocate buying a property rather than renting one.
So now we move to the next speaker. I would like to call Toastmaster Abhay and Naomi. The topic is very simple. The living partner should be declared as a family. Living partner should be declared as a family for the topic and against the topic. Living partner, living relationship partner should be declared as a family.
Come on, boy. Why not? Why not is the first question. So, if you are living with someone, then it means that you have a certain amount of commitment that you want to take forward for probably the rest of your life. And if you're not wanting to give that kind of a commitment, then why in that kind of a relationship? So, live-in partners should also be declared as family.
I think I'm totally against it because, yeah, sure, they're living together, they do have some commitment, but at the same time, they haven't reached that commitment to become a family. They're still learning to be together, grow together, actually understand each other, and there's still a big process to actually become one big family.
I would disagree because being from, let's say, an older school of thought, if I may, is if you're committing, then commit fully. And if you're not committing, then don't commit. So make up your mind whether you want to be on this side of the line or that side of the line. Why do you want to always be on both sides of the line? And jump in as it suits you.
I think at some point you are right, but then again, I would still say to actually become a family, you still need to learn to be together. And take in India, you need to actually have an actual legally be married to actually be considered a family.
Yeah, that's what the law says right now, but that's what we're debating about. Should live-in partners be called in as family or not? So, like you just said, there's learning and it's a natural process that people have gone through for maybe thousands and thousands of years. I don't think that any two people who are coming to live together at any given point in time know everything about each other and things will be smooth as soon as possible. So So that's something I learned from recent experience as well. So there is a graph of things that might not work, and then only then they will taper down to things that will work if you are willing to put in that kind of commitment, if you're willing to put in that kind of work, and if you're really willing to forgive.
So now I'd like to call Saurabh and Bruno. Bruno? No. Okay. So now I'd like to call Saurabh and Aditya. So give him round of applause. So the topic is maternity leave should be equal to paternity leave. Okay. On and on. And go for?
You will support paternity leave?
Yeah. Cool. It should be equal.
Because it is maternity leave.
Maternity leave should be equal to paternity.
Or should it be other? It's already there. Okay.
Okay. Anybody saying that it shouldn't be, it's kind of preposterous if you think about it. We live in a 21st century. The previous topic that we were discussing about was live-in partners be called as family or not. We live in a society where men and women proceed, work, live shoulder to shoulder with each other. So while a maternity leave of 8 weeks is justified for the rest of the mother, she's supposed to rest. And if she's supposed to rest, then who's supposed to take care of that baby? Who's going to take care of that baby? Either the mother of the new mom, or maybe her in-laws, maybe her own sister. But what if they're not there? We were just talking about a 1 BHK flat in where? HSR? Yeah, HSR, right? If there's a 1 BHK flat, how do I invite family? Who gets to take care of the baby? The father. The father, right? The father is not only helping with the process of taking care of an aggravated new mother who's going through these emotional cycles, who's tired all the time, and is also supposed to look forward to join an office in a few weeks' time if she's working, which most women are, thanks to 21st century. Who takes care of the baby? So yes, yes, we need paternity leave as equal as maternity leave.
Okay, but I strongly disagree. When we get paternity or maternity leave, generally company provide that within 1 year, 0 to more time till 1 year. And as a father, I know in the first 1 year, child really does not demand that time. So what I think two parents, two adults are going to do with just a 2-3 month old child who just only sleeping on the bed? What they will do? That child needs 2 adults to take care of that person only sleeping and only even that child even can't speak and talk to you. Child is so high maintenance that requires 2 adults to and what will father will do? Okay, see, father has to take a couple of hours in a day. That is more than enough.
Let me ask you this, Saurabh. I remember your icebreaker. You have 2 boys, right? 2 boys. Who took care of them? What were you doing when they were 2 to 3 months old? Were you in there in the house helping your wife or somebody from your family? What were you doing in those 2-3 months? Weren't you buying diapers? Weren't you running around figuring out doctors? Weren't you making sure that the baby food was at home? Right? Didn't you require the time to do that? Weren't you always exhausted after every night of work, like every whole day of work, going back to home at night, like, oh shit, I forgot my cereal food. Where's the diapers? There's shit all over the room. What do you do then? Didn't you feel that you also needed that paternity leave? Right?
So, changing diaper does not require one diaper can work for 12 hours, 10 hours. Okay, that doesn't require Okay, so basically my own point is that ideally my point is that when child becomes older, then father should try to spend more time and come to learning mode. But at the time of birth or in the beginning 1 or 2 years, child really does not need that kind of attention and time. So, and I have seen that is from, I myself took 26 weeks of paternity leave. But I know.
You are not to build a case.
So I really did not spend that much time because my child was very, very.
So now I move to next topic. I would like to call the guest Naina and Shruti. Please give them a round of applause. So, yeah. So topic is very simple. I think it's very favorite among the women. Jewelry is the best investment than anything else. For the topic, again, jewelry is the best investment than anything else.
I agree with this topic. Yes, jewelry is the best investment. Whatever you want, you can buy it. Get diamond, gold. Yes, I would prefer gold over diamond. Okay. So yeah, jewelry is the best investment.
I mean, we all know the problem in reselling jewelry. You never get the making charges. And you need a lot of time for that jewelry to actually appreciate in value so that you can pay for the making charges. And I've seen that diamond also does not appreciate in value that much. So yeah, it makes you look pretty and is better than a bullion of gold. But if you don't get the making charges in time, it's going to depreciate in value. So they're really not the best investment.
So, yeah, so I've told you, yes, my first preference is gold, not diamond. Okay. So, yeah. So, yes, I feel jewelry is the best investment. Why? Because you can buy gold coins, okay? And then, yes, whenever you want, you can sell it. I agree. So, yeah.
I would just put it in mutual funds.
You were saying, okay, fine, invest in mutual fund, right? But mutual fund, it's a risk thing, right? Like you are going to take risk. But in gold, you know, right? Like it's not that risky thing, okay? Because in mutual fund, you don't know. Market can go down anytime, and if it is happening, then obviously you need to bear lots of loss, right? But in jewelry, yes, you are confident if you are going to buy worth rupees 2 lakh or 3 lakh or 5 lakh, right? If you are talking about making charges, right? It can be only 5% of your actual amount. So, but in case of mutual fund, yes, you can lose interest or more loss in that case.
See, I love jewelry. And I love buying jewelry and wearing jewelry. But I think the appreciation of that asset itself, just like real estate, has sort of depreciated. So it doesn't quite as much keep up with the inflation these days. So, of course, I buy gold jewelry because I like it. And I can give it to, like, I can take it from my grandmother or my mother and give it to my children. But I would not prefer it as an investment at all.
Okay, so I also agree, yes, it's one of the best investments. So yeah.
For me, as this debate keep continuing at my family, you can understand. So this is the first preference. So this is the end of the session, and I'm sure that you like the evening. Now I would like to hand over to the table topic.
So idli or aloo paratha? OTT or friends? Rented or own house? And then the $1 million question: who gets to take care of the baby? So, for conducting that wonderful table topic session, let's give a big round of applause. And now we are the Eagle's Eye I invite the general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Nagesh.
Still internally wrapping and the previous session still. Let me come back. Let's take about 20 seconds to give the voting for the previous session we had. Your password? BTMC is the password. Okay, let's begin the general evaluation session with 3 beautiful speeches we had. So may I call upon firstly the evaluator of the 3rd speaker. Let's do a little differently. Toastmaster Ayappa to give his evaluation of the 3rd speaker.
Once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Good evening. And my speaker, Toastmaster Vijay Kalpundri in particular. I'm going to evaluate a speech in 3 areas. The first one is your conviction with the topic, the content, and your connect with the audience and your presentation style. You opened the speech brilliantly with your quote, leaders are not who has power, but who empower others. And you had powerful examples to demonstrate affiliate leadership and democratic leadership. One, the Harsha story, Subbu story, and Kutuswamy. And especially when you are talking about how Kutuswamy handled the traffic convention, it was brilliant. There were certain examples like where the traffic was so heavy that we can't even slide a small piece of paper. Brilliant. And finally, you concluded a speech connecting well with the Toastmasters. It's a platform where leaders are made. Now, Toastmaster Vijay, to take a speech to the next level. The first thing is, I felt, being a leader, I always love this place. Hold this lecture and speak. And I felt some of the moments were not required. That's first one. And second one was, there's a huge scope for the pauses and the way you tone. I felt it was a bit kind of the monotone, the single tone. And finally, you said you imbibe the leadership styles of these people, Kutuswamy and Subbu and Harsha. But it would have been nice if you told how actually implemented those styles in your life, so that their impact would have been much, much better. Having said that, you are a powerful speaker and you're a powerful storyteller. I know, I've been listening to you for the past 5-6 years. And congratulations and all the best for all your future speeches. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Okay, my job is to evaluate the evaluator. You touched upon the content as well as delivery very, very well. You also gave him some feedback and suggestions for him to take forward in his next speeches. Thank you for that. If I may, Vijay, can I give you a suggestion? Your project objective was leadership styles in general or your leadership style. You chose to talk about leadership styles in general. You talked about 3 ADCPI, and you gave us only 3 examples. Because of the time constraint, probably you would have chosen 3. I wanted to hear about others as well. How are you taking to my needs? Just look at this. When I heard the objective, I thought I'll get to know more about his leadership style. So just keep this in mind in your next speech, please. Let me call upon now the evaluator of second speaker, Joseph.
Yeah, general evaluator, Toastmasters, and guests. You can deliver a speech perfectly with lots of practice and rehearsal, but you cannot deliver a eulogy with practice or rehearsals because you need lots of love and courage for that. Love because it is a bond that you share with the person that helps you share some memories and bring alive that person before the audience. Courage because sharing something personal will always be overwhelming, and if you're not strong enough, you will either choke or break down. I do not have a brother, but I can relate very well with this relationship because I have 2 sons and I know what one means to the other. So, dear Toastmasters and guests, what we witnessed here today from Toastmaster Lokesh is deep love and great courage. Now, in simple terms, what is an eulogy? To bring a loved one back to life by sharing some wonderful memories about them and what they meant to you. None of us have probably met Lalit, Toastmaster Lokesh's brother, but now we can vividly recall his brother pushing him into the fight and all the other incidents and pranks that he narrated. He was amongst us for a brief period of time. The core message and key takeaways for me that were reinforced through Toastmaster Lokesh's eulogy were life is so unpredictable. So let us value every moment. One life, live it. No moment should go unlived. And the second one, nourish, nurture and value your relationships, especially with your loved ones when they are around. Create life-lasting memories with them. Because most of the time we take time and relationship for granted. Toastmaster Lokesh, I'm really sorry for your loss. But today you have taught us how to cope up with this loss with strength and courage, and instead of grieving, to celebrate with wonderful memories that you shared with the person. And I cannot suggest any other way in which you could have done it better. But I have another strong recommendation for you, because I have observed that most of your speeches are in the area of wellness and deep relationships. Now with your Zen-like calmness and soothing voice, you always bring a sense of peace and serenity. You have mastered this niche area and always you leave us with very profound thoughts and longing for more. I strongly recommend that you explore certain other emotions such as an aggressive emotion as anger in your future speeches, because you already have a vast repertoire of speaking skills. Now, if you were to add this also, I think true to your name, Lokesh, which is Lord of the World, I'm sure that you will become Lord of the speaking world, and you have it in you to become one.
Thank you so much for that evaluation. It's a rare speech. Let me take a few seconds to talk about this. Why I say rare is not many people attempt this speech in their path, a social speech. Second rarity is a 3 to 4 minute speech. 3 to 4 minute speech, and evaluator has to do it in 2 to 3 minutes. That is another rarity that we have in this particular speech. Just Paul, you evaluated him very, very well. Thank you for that. You touched upon everything that he had to know from you as an evaluator. 2 things I want to point out, one for the evaluator and one for the speaker. Evaluator, when you read the objective, I was little missing till the middle of his speech. What is this speech about? We got to know it was social speech, but social speeches has got various categories. It was somewhere later when we started his speech, I realized that it was a eulogy. It should come a little ahead so that the audience knows about it. And if I may give you a suggestion, eulogies, whether we learn from kids, youth, elder or elderly, we always thank them for whatever lessons we have learned from them. Especially eulogy is meant for that. So I wanted that thanking to come in your speech, which I think you somewhere missed that. The project guidelines, the project, if you look at the booklet, also talks about it. Just one note for you on that. Thank you for the evaluator and the speakers. Give them a big round of applause. Next, let's move on to the speaker number 1, evaluated by Toastmaster Shashank. Over to you.
Good evening, Mr. General Evaluator, dear Toastmasters, dear guests, and Toastmaster Palapan in particular. What a brilliant speech to begin your Toastmasters career. Your icebreaker speech was very good. Because it takes courage. I've seen many experienced people outside of Toastmasters come here and give the first speech. When they come here and take the stage, they crumble. I've seen people go blank. I've seen people walk after 2 minutes. But you had the confidence to continue for 6 minutes and deliver your speech with great creativity. Now you spoke about, you started with your introduction by introducing your name, first of all, the meaning of your name. You gave a brief flashback about your struggles, the food, and all your initial struggles, and then how your father gave you more confidence and you started your engineering. You also gave few incidents about accident, you were in ICU and you were at home for a few months, and then your next stage, your engineering, your CAD and engineering and all that. I would like to evaluate your speech with the abbreviation ICE, because it's your icebreaker speech. I is for introduction. The moment you started your speech, and then you said, my name is Palapan and Palapan means this, the meaning, we were hooked on, because it was a different way to begin the speech by introducing the meaning of the name. And this project, the purpose of this project was for you to introduce yourself to the club and to learn the basic structure of the speech. Now again, when we talk about the structure, you had a very good introduction, and then you planned your speech in according to stage. That is your first stage, your childhood, and then your current stage, and then what you're looking for. So introduction was very good, but you could work on your conclusion also, because after hearing about your past, your present, and then your Toastmasters journey, we want to understand what you want to do next, or how would you want your life to go ahead further. The next C stands for confidence. As I already mentioned, you were very confident. I've seen people crumble, but you were not shaken. It didn't feel like it was a icebreaker speech. You took on the stage and you took on the audience and you made it a very good speech. E stands for enhancements in your speech. Now it was a good speech, but how can you make your speech better? Now even though this project demands that you have 2 criteria, that is introduction of yourself, introducing yourself, and learn the basic structure of the speech. But what also helps is making proper eye contact with the audience. If you want others to hook on to what you are speaking, listen to what you are speaking without look at others. I think you are standing here and are mostly looking at the camera or mostly looking at the floor here. And while doing so, you were just walking front and back right here. So you could use the stage, or you could use hands, you could use proper hand gestures. But with eye contact, you can make very good, there will be proper connect with the audience. And you will learn more about vocal variety and body language in your subsequent levels, so I will not touch more on that. But you could, when you are speaking, you can talk with emotions also, right? When you said I was with an accident and I was at home for 3 months, it appeared as if you are very happy about that. So when you can change the voice to make yourself, show through emotions, it would have been very well. And you could have also covered a couple of highlights in your speech. What was the best highlight till date? Having said all that, it was a very good speech, very good effort. You spoke with confidence, and looking forward to hear the meaning of your speech.
Thank you for that evaluation, Toastmaster Shashank. I think it was very motivating for an icebreaker speech by Palapan. What should I say? about the speaker I'm talking about, there are two things that I had a takeaway. One is you talked about the hostel. Because all of those people who were in college and stayed in the hostel, there were some people who really laughed at the hostel food. Second, you talked about Sureka Madam's food. Snacks made you join. That food has made me complete 4 months. So this is what we cherish in Toastmasters. And thirdly, the most importantly, I didn't know, till today, till yesterday, I didn't know that because of pressure you can start writing CAT exams. So thank you for that insights, great speech, keep it up, keep coming back here on the stage and give more speeches. I would like to hear more from you, Toastmaster Karan. And thank you for completing your icebreaker. Now, I would call upon my tag team one after another to give their reports on the timer, our counter, and the remaining. Over to you, Madam Timer.
For the
You can come here.
So the prepared speech was they all took they were within time, so nobody exceeded. And the evaluators were fairly in time. And in the table topics, 2 people exceeded time, Anand and Abhidandan and Saurabh and Aditya. They exceeded by 15 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you for the crisp report. Individual timings can be taken after the meeting is over for the timer. Thank you. Now over to you, Toastmaster Abhinavam.
Good evening once again. I've been hearing a lot about jewelry, so I thought of giving 3 medals today: gold, silver, and bronze. So the gold medals go to Naina, Naomi, Lokesh, Vijay, Kirtana, Parth, Vishwanath, and Jose Paul, who used less than 5 crutch words or filler words. Let's give them a round of applause. And then a special 24-carat gold medal to Vaidyanathan and Sureka Madam for not using even a single filler word. And then the silver medals for those who used less than 10 filler words: Aaron, Abhijit, Abhinandan, Aditya, Abhay, Saurabh, Shashank, Shelma, Ganesh, and Parth. Let's give them a round of applause. For all the names that I missed, you all have won a bronze medal. And if you keep coming back to our meetings regularly, you can convert that bronze into silver or gold. Back to you.
Wonderfully said. There were so many people who won the gold, and there were 2 diamonds in our club. So we are a diamond club. Thank you for that. Now, the grammarian report, please.
Good evening, everyone. I would start by apologizing since I forgot to introduce the word of the day, which was cognizant, and I also could not observe any of you using it. So let's go to some good uses of grammar, like unceremoniously refused and hurricane of butterflies. Some of the bad uses, a few bunch of, which could be a bunch of or a few. Learned about the importance of should be learned the importance of, and I didn't had should be I didn't have. Thank you.
Now let's look at the meeting in general. Did we start on time? Yes, we started our time. Sergeant Detan started it on time. However, there was little commotion at the back. A lot of people couldn't understand that meeting had started. So I would request Sergeant Detans to grab the attention first. Maybe your voice. This has been told many times. Your voice has to be a little louder so that we hear at the back. That is one suggestion. Beyond that, I think you talked about the rules. You introduced the president very well, the presiding officer today very, very well. Kudos to you. Everything was arranged here on time as we started the meeting. Give him a big round of applause. Moving on next to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. What should I say about you? Whenever you come here, there is a pin drop silence, not just in the room, even outside. You give us so much of narration. You are very good at narration, and you bring something which is not known to the audience. This 1707 story was not known to, I think, many of them. It's a takeaway for me at least about the theme of the day. Thank you so much for letting us know about it. Give him a big round of applause. I'll come to TMOD a little later as the rule. I'll go to Table Topic Master. Couple of things here which I thought was novel. One is, I think we have had a debate in this club earlier also, but of late this debate in a table topic session is something that is very much needed. Why I say that is, it gives a little time for people the other opponent to think about what is being said and how should I rebut it. It's not just the table topic that you take the topic and then talk about it. In debate, you'll have to listen to your opponent and try to rebut that. That is one thing that I think these debates bring in onto the stage here for those two people who are performing for and against. You brought that today. Thank you for that. Those 16 people who came here did their job very, very well. Second thing, the topics were quite easy. It was not something that we had not heard about and we had to think a lot to talk about. No, it was very, very easy. And thirdly, I would say, I think everybody here in the meeting had fun. Isn't it?
Yes.
We enjoyed the table topic session today. So give him a big round of applause. If I may give one or two suggestions on taking this next debate forward. One is the clarity of the topic. Those topics were very easy. We all debate in our minds on those topics almost quite often. But giving a bit of clarity to the speakers here would be better, especially last three topics were not very well understood by the debaters. Secondly, you started off saying that these are the timings, this is how things will happen, this is a little different, but I'll go as per the theme. But there was some topic, I was actually preparing for something related to family, my brother, this, that, in case I was talked about. But this aloo paratha and idli related to this theme, I was little confused. So those who are mentally preparing to come on the stage, it was really confusing for them. So either you stick to the theme or you don't stick to the theme at all. Or you don't announce that I'm sticking to the theme. Except for those two things, I think you did a wonderful job, Toastmaster Kamlesh as a table topic master or the debate master here. Give him a big round of applause. Now coming to, before I go to the TMOD, I want to take a few seconds to talk about the tag team. Because my job as general evaluator is to evaluate those who are not evaluated. So the tag team also. Madam Timer, there was one speech which was 2 to 3 minutes. That should have been called out very, very clearly, either when you were talking about your role or when the speaker came on the stage. At least then we knew that it's not a regular 5 to 7 minute speech, nor it is an icebreaker. That is one feedback for you. No feedback for our counter. You did your job very, very well. You gave gold medals and bronze medals and all the medals. Thank you for that. Gregarian, please come on the stage and then give your speech. It's your stage time that you get. Even if it is a minute or 1.5 minutes, please come on the stage and give your whatever you have to say as a reporter. Now over to the TMOD. Madam Smita Roshi, what should I say? You reached out to many people, I know, for getting their intros, what needs to be done much before the meeting started. That's what TMOD's role is. TMOD's role is to plan the meeting after the role takers have been allotted. You did that before the meeting, very well done there. And you started off with ADH, which many people wanted to guess but were not able to guess except for one person. Again, a hook for the audience to listen to you, and you took off from there. That was very well done. Thirdly, I would talk about, you talked about 11 different parts. Talked about the Toastmasters movement, and all those things were regularly to be done by a Toastmaster of the day, done very well. There are a couple of things that I want to share with you for your benefit. Once again, trying to do this role. You had too many stories in the beginning. You talked about Tom and Bina, you talked about your grandmother, actively, and you also, before you talked about TM movement, you said keep distance. I felt if you had spread this out in the 3 times you came on the stage, it would have been better. Why I say that is you have to weave all the 3 sections of the meeting in your team audience. So probably these things could have been spread out in those 3 times you came on the stage. Secondly, one small request for you is 11 parts relating to your personality. We don't select parts based on our personality. That's one thing that I thought I will mention this to you. Lastly, though it is small, very important, is don't try to have longer introductions of the people who come on the stage. Have it short the way you had it for me, and you had it from the memory. So do it for others also. Instead of having the introductions here and reading it out. 1 or 2 lines that we don't know about the speaker who is coming on the stage would be better. With that, she did a wonderful job leading the whole meeting forward. Give her a big round of applause. Now, I'll fail in my duty if I don't talk about a few general things that I observed. She talked about me being hawk's eye, I think thrice. What I request is, I've seen this often, that door there is often left unattended or open where people come in and go at their will. From next meeting onwards, I suggest that somebody take care of that it is closed. Otherwise, the board there has no meaning when the door is open. Second biggest thing is, I saw a lot of balcony seats empty. So though President said, please come forward, let's stay as close to the speaker as possible because of 2 reasons. One is we give them the respect that they need because they're prepared and they have come here to give us what they want to share to us. Second thing is there's a lot of ambient noise. There was there and there's some music being played. So those who are sitting in the back are not able to hear what the speaker is saying. Especially in the debate, there was a little bit of it was difficult to hear. So better occupy the front seats is what I would suggest. And largely, the elephant in the room, let me address that. This recording device is there. I don't know if it is recording. It is left unattended. You have just come in, but for the most of the time this was left unattended. So I request if somebody takes charge of that in case the person is not there. And there's one more thing that I wanted to mention. When speaker is on the stage, there's some stage time happening here. I request those people who are at the back not to whisper talk when serious work is happening here. We all come here to listen to the speakers, not to talk to ourselves. We'll have that 7 minutes break, and beyond this meeting we'll have a lot of time to talk to one another and greet one another. So these were the 4 things that I thought as general evaluator I'll give it to the club and the EXCOM. With that was my time. Thank you VP Education and President, for giving me this role. Back to you, Deepak.
Thank you for that great evaluation session, Toastmaster Nagesh. We all had something to learn, and that's what we are looking for in the general evaluation session. With that, first let me thank the committee for giving me this role, and with that, with love, the Max teacher is handing back the podium.
For the job brilliantly done, please give her a big round of applause. The dessert is going to be a bit more cooler in our club because we have some real good sessions coming up. One is the rendezvous meet, and okay, I was a bit scared. And second, we also are going to have the club elections, who are going to elect the next set of officers, and then we are also going to have a guest speaker who will raise the occasion on 16th. Please do not miss any of the sessions. So December is going to get really cool here. And now it's time for awards. And to begin with, the best auxiliary role taker award, the man who gave us medals. It's Toastmaster Abhinam. So far, it's a gold medal today. It's absolutely a stunning general evaluation today. The man who dissected the entire proceedings of the meeting and gave real positive suggestions. And the best role taker award for today goes to Toastmaster Nagesh. And there were two people who were born to evaluate. And one is not present today, and the other one is here seated in the second row with a broad smile, and it's Toastmaster Joe Spot. And he spoke so passionately about paternity leave, maternity leave, and the man who is going to be awarded the Best Table Topic Award is Toastmaster Saurav Malab. And finally, this gentleman spoke about Puttaswamy Gowda, and he also spoke about leadership. So, the Best Speaker Award for tonight goes to Toastmaster Vijay Kalkundri. And congratulations to Toastmaster Kolapan for breaking the ice. That is Kolapan. So can you please come on stage, please? He deserves a standing ovation once again. With that, it's end of meeting number 1351, and I adjourn meeting number 1351 today. Plus, please do wait, some lovely snacks are waiting for us. So, let's join for snacks now. Thank you very much.